Hello, I'm Tansy. I have written a book, a vampire book, and somebody told me I should really start book talking about my vampire credentials and the things I like about vampires. So I started to look to see what was out there already, and I saw somebody who said, "Oh, here are the top 3 vampire television series of all time," and proceeded to list number 3, True Blood. I've got it written down here. True Blood. Okay, yeah, good. Solid choice. Great series. Jumps the shark, but most vampire series do after about the 3rd or 4th series. They start really having to dig down into the lore and into the weird stuff. Vampire Diaries, solidly at number 2. Brilliant. Just finished a rewatch of that myself. Fabulous. Team Damon. Absolutely. Stefan was always wet. I mean, seriously, come on. Also, can we just stop picking one? Seriously. You do not need, in case anybody is watching this and thinking, I need to find my soulmate, you so don't. And certainly not at her age. She's 16. Sleep with them both. I mean, come on. You don't need to make choices like that until you're much older. Just, you can settle later in life. But at 16, you do not need to settle. Anyway, and also Damon is not a settle. Good choice, Selena. And then up at number 1, she put Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and for some reason that made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I had to kind of sit back and unpack that a little bit. Now, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, problematic directors aside, but it's a vampire hunter series, not a vampire series. Although there are main character vampires, and there are certainly main character vampires who have important roles, lead roles to play. Team Spike. I like the bad boy, don't I? Actually, Team Drusilla, if we drill down. However, these are vampire hunter focused. And then I realised with my AUDHD head on, that this list actually needs subdividing into multiple lists. So I realised that my issue here is that there are vampire hunter vampire series where the lead character is hunting vampires, or it's like a post-apocalyptic type genre like The Strain, and the vampires are very much the other, the creature. Then you've got true vampire series where the vampire is the lead role, or one of the main characters, or all of the main characters, or the majority of the main characters. And I've got quite a long list of those, which I was really impressed with, because I was wondering if that might end up being actually quite a small list, and then I'd be sad. And then there are series that have vampires in, but the vampire is not the main character, and is not necessarily the focus of that series, like Supernatural, for example, has vampires in it. The vampires are incidental, and you could watch many episodes of that show and never see a vampire, and then suddenly there's a vampire in it. I mean, actually, that can be true of a lot of very weird things, like, did you know there's a vampire episode of Quantum Leap? Oh, yes. And you're never quite sure, were they real vampires? Were they role players? It's a brilliant episode. I'm quite into episodes of things as well, where a vampire just pops up somewhere where you just wouldn't expect them to be. But that Quantum Leap episode, chef's kiss, absolutely brilliant. So that brought me into my lists, because who doesn't love a list? I mean, come on. So I've got myself a fabulous list here. I'm going to go straight into the vampires are the lead characters list. Okay. Now, in that, I think you've got some OGs you need to recognise, being things like, let me just go down my list here, Dark Shadows. Got to be in there with a mention, hasn't it? Vampire, Barnabas Collins, nice and lead character. I do recommend watching the remake. I think it's 1991. That show was going somewhere. And brace yourself, because it just ends. It doesn't get where it's going. It doesn't get there. It just stops. So, but let's put it on our list. Dark Shadows, fantastic OG series. I think there's like a 1967 version of it as well, or 60s to 70s version of it. I watched that as a child. It was on BBC. It was on BBC Two, I think, really late. Very Very, very good originals, OG series. I'd throw Buffy out there as being an OG. She's old. She's getting on a bit. I know she's having a resurgence, and more power to her elbow. But that series itself is aging. Like a fine wine. If you know, you know. But I've got down here as well, Blood Ties, Moonlight, 2 series, very similar idea. You've got a detective, human detective, vampire support, bit like Lucifer, but with a vampire. Brilliant series, both of them. So True Blood's on here, being more modern, obviously. Gets very weird toward the back end of season, whatever it ended up at, 7, something like that. But worth a watch the whole way through. Interview with a Vampire, the new series. I can do a whole one of these just on that one alone. I'm a lover. I know people who are haters, but I can explain my position. Being Human, the OG British and the US, both solid, very good, both get weird. What We Do in the Shadows, come on, honourable mention, fantastic series, Team Nandor. Legacies, look it up, underrated, little bit of a tricky watch in places, but underrated. And I mean tricky watch because it gets a little crap, but not bad. Vampire Academy, oh bless you, you should have done so much better. Then there's Draculas. There's like a few Draculas, but the one that I would actually count as a TV series, there is a version of the BBC Dracula well worth watching. It's a 3-part adaptation. Gets weird in part 3, but watch it, it's still very good. There is actually an American, Canadian, I think actually, Dracula series in which he's rather weirdly and sort of like a electricity person. I don't know, it's really weird, but it's good. Worth watching. A Discovery of Witches. How did that not get a mention in this person's list? Discovery of Witches is brilliant. Yes, there are witches in it, but the other main character in it, definitely a vampire, and a nice one. Very, very good. Loved it. Loved the kind of scientific side of it. Please excuse my hellhound in the background. Discovery of Witches, very, very good. Moonlight Blood Ties went through. Oh, Heartbeat, Korean. Watch it. Very slow, very weird. Have to get your head around that Korean drama because it's a very weird Korean romantic drama. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant series. Worth sticking it through for. Count Abdullah. I know, right? Weird. Watch that thinking, this is going to be awkward. It's going to be uncomfortable to watch because it's going to be a little bit, trying to be too comedy. It's actually really good. I think it really finds its feet. Needs a second series because it had only just found its feet. Same with First Kill. Had only just found its feet before it got vanished. Worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. Reginald the Vampire never found its feet. It just felt awkward the whole way through. Wish it had, didn't. Kindred the Embraced. Oh, don't. I mean, if you have to look it up just because you feel like you're a completionist like me, brace yourself. Dig in because, oh dear. They mean well, I assume. Dusk Till Dawn had a series. Actually a pretty good one. Not a mad fan of the film. Series was okay. Hemlock Grove. Bill Skarsgård, before he was Pennywise, was a vampire. A shit one, but a vampire nonetheless. Midnight Texas, gonna maybe sideline that. Vampire, not a main character. Blade. Oh, that goes into my Vampire Hunter list. Walks the line, doesn't it? Blade had a series. Blade series was actually good. Did not deserve to be suddenly canned. Van Helsing I put in there as well. The Strain. Vampire Hunters again, post-apocalyptic vampire world. Brilliant. So all of these things needed a mention. How the hell do I rate them? I don't know, that's going to have to be like a whole other video. I'm literally running out of time in a 10-minute TikTok. Okay, well, if you want it, you know what to do. You've got to do that like-follow thing. Apparently I've got to ask you to do that. Do the like and follow thing. Tell me, which one do you want me to review more in depth? Do you want me to rate any of these? Let me know.